What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of the Cubcast Daily, our daily news section where we've run through different news articles, listings, and just general updates about the tracks that we tend to react to here on the channel. Very excited to be here during the Christmas period. I've got a little bit more time off work. So, we did put a poll out on the channel a few weeks ago asking what you would like to see more of during this Christmas break, and the main thing that came up was lists. So today, we are going to be checking out my top 10 favorite tracks that we have reacted to on the channel this year. Now, I was going to do just a general top 10 tracks, but there are so many songs from so many other genres that I feel wouldn't necessarily fit in this type of platform. For instance, Jungle have been my favorite act of the year. Just as a group and as what they've done. So obviously that wouldn't really fit in with the rest of this as a correlation. Obviously we haven't really reacted to what Jungle have been doing because it's a different kind of area. So we are going to be focusing today entirely on the top 10 tracks that we have reacted to here on the channel, which I'm very, very excited to do. As always, guys, if you are new to the channel, do make sure that you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, of course, turning notifications on as well, making sure that you are leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. And we are going to get into this list straight away. Beforehand, however, I do have a little bit of a cold at the moment, so if I do cough in the video, I do apologise. Hopefully I can hold it back, and we should be okay to get through this. So, coming in at number 10, in my honest opinion, my 10th favourite track of the year that we have reacted to, the sounds of l.a.x alongside Dave with Intoxicated. Now, we know Dave is an artist that has manoeuvred in and around the Afrobeat space for a while, a number of big collaborations with Burna Boy. I think he's collaborated with a couple of other Afrobeats artists over the years as well, so I think he's someone that really isn't new to this space. He's someone that's been involved in it in a little while, but for me, the big thing about this was seeing l.a.x, how he would transition into an international collaborative zone, especially with a UK artist. Obviously, he had the huge remixes that we saw for Colosa, but for me, I think this is one where he really kind of did something original. He wasn't relying on the success of a previous tune. This was completely original, and again, super, super catchy. There's so many elements to the hook on this which really, really get me, and for me it really shows just how talented a hook writer l.a.x is, and also how kind of malleable his style is. For me, this is why this is in number 10 for me. Moving up into number 9, however, we do have l.a.x with Holy Ghost. I think this is one of the more recent tracks on this listing. Obviously, it could have potentially been higher if it come out earlier in the year. We haven't really been able to see whether it will stand the test of time as of yet, but for me, following on from the Boy Alone project, and obviously all the success that's come off that, the deluxe edition as well, for me, seeing l.a.x step into this very unique kind of spacious, very kind of ambient kind of zone that he has been really pushing as his kind of own project over the last couple of years. For me, this is a great example of him going, look, the style isn't down to one project, the style is eternal. And I think there was something so beautiful about the way this track was arranged, and I think we really did get to see l.a.x just really letting loose and trying things. I also saw a fantastic post from him. I'm pretty sure it was him that posted it, saying, thanks guys, thanks to you I'm no longer feeling alone. And I thought, just in collaboration with this as a track and everything I suppose this track represents, I thought that was such a cool thing to be able to see. Moving into track number 8 then, we do see one from the man himself, Rema. This one goes by the name D&D, and again, we haven't reacted to the official video for this one yet. If you'd like to see me react to the actual video, do let me know in the comment section down below. The main reason we haven't is because the track itself didn't come out too long ago. It's a track I'm regularly listening to, so there isn't really much for me to kind of react to in that regard. It would just be the video, so I'd like to potentially let a little bit more time pass, but if you would be keen for me to react to it, do let me know in the comment section down below. Again, just classic Rema, utilizing those kind of linguistic roles that right now I gotta put you on D&D, and that the sort of just general roles he has with his vocal work so nicely. Really high energy arrangement on this one as well. And obviously it's a track that has helped push Rema even further forward. Obviously off the success of Calm Down, it's always going to be difficult to kind of follow up a track with that much success. But I do really like the project. And I think the project itself features some really cool bits. For me, D&D was the highlight. So that's why this one sits at number 8. In number 7 then, we do see the sounds of One Day Cole with a fantastic tune that goes by the name Streets alongside the legendary T-Pain, who for me is a top 5 artist of all time. I absolutely adore what T-Pain's done. I think for me, he is one of the most incredibly, criminally underrated artists globally. So I just think what he has done, what the introduction of autotune has done in regards to creativity and the way that he's been able to push R&B and surrounding genres forward is absolutely fantastic. And seeing him link up with the mighty vocal of One Day Cole and seeing how they actually collaborated and seeing how they actually came together and how well it worked was pretty sensational for me. And this is a tune that I listen to on a daily basis at this point. And it's just seeing how T-Pain kind of moves into that space and just the sort of rocking and throwing of their harmonies. I think it sounds absolutely fantastic. This is probably the least listened to globally out of all of the tracks on this project, I would presume, on this video, sorry, so I would presume. So do make sure you go and give this one a bit of a listen. Right, moving into track number 6 then. We couldn't get a top 10 list together without featuring this one. Davido with Unavailable featuring Musa Keys. Again, the dance routine, sensational. I've seen a number of lists that do actually put this as the #1 track of the year. For me, I do enjoy it. I think it's fantastic. I think the effort that went into the video, I think just in general, the success this tune's had, it would be unfair not to include it in this top 10 list. I think what it's done is incredible. It's not cracked my top 5 purely because of this is, again, entirely down to my personal preference, this list. I'm not saying these are the best tracks. I'm saying these are my favorite that we have reacted to, and obviously we have to include tracks that do have that sort of global appeal. And I think it's a tune that I do find myself singing on quite a regular basis. It's a track that if it comes on in a dance, I'm going to move to it. But yeah, definitely a top 10, number 6 this one from me, Davido. Again, I don't need to say too much about this tune. You're going to be hearing a ton of it in the other videos as well. Moving into track number 5 then, as we do move into the top 5, the sounds of Victini with Angelus. For me, this was a tune that, again, didn't necessarily get the support that I felt it should have. It was so unique in the way that it was arranged, those sort of sliding guitar lines. The video itself is beautiful. And yeah, for me, this was just exactly what I want to hear from Victini. Slightly quirky, slightly old school, slightly nostalgic sounding tunes, utilizing his vocal in the best way possible. And again, this is a tune that I absolutely adore. If you haven't seen the video, do go and give it a watch. It's got the coolest dance routines ever. And for me, it's Victini very much in his creative bag, not necessarily just kind of like hook writing as he'll often end up doing. For me, this is him just exploring a different zone and exploring a lot of nostalgic kind of old school Afrobeat sounds in their arrangement. A fair bit of high life element in there as well. Really, really cool tune. Do go and check that one out. In number 4 then, I couldn't put this list together without including the man himself, J Hus. This one featuring Naira Marley, and it goes by the name Militarian. This is a tune that for me, absolutely blew me away. I know there is a spelling mistake in the thumbnail, but you know what? That's part of the legacy of this channel. There's occasionally spelling mistakes. My apologies. But for me, this was a sensational tune. I've run this in a couple of dances, and the response it gets is just wow. And just seeing how people do react to it is crazy. Again, J Hus, one of my favourite artists of all time. Naira Marley, obviously one of the smoothest out there in this sort of regard, and I definitely think this as a tune is sensational. I think the way that it comes together, I think what they tried to achieve with it, and I think what J Hus actually does on this tune makes it a top tier release. Moving then into track number 3, it's getting very tight at this point. We do see Victini on the list again. This one, the Soweto remix, featuring Rema, Tempo, and Don Toliver. Now, this is there are a number of different remixes of this tune. This one, for me, I feel, is interesting in a number of ways. It's because we get to see Don Toliver really kind of I suppose we get to see Don Toliver exploring different sounds. We get to see him exploring an area where we know he is very capable of performing, but we get to see him really showcase how good he is. I think Rema arrives on this and does a fantastic job, and obviously Victini and Tempo's parts are already there. I just think this is the best kind of beefing up of Soweto, which is obviously one of the biggest tunes in general of the last few years, just how catchy it is, the dance routines that have gone with it. And that for me is a big part of this list. I want tunes that are catchy. I want tunes that are going to stick in my head. I want tunes that I can play in a dance, and I know people are going to go absolutely wild for. And this is definitely one of those tunes. Moving into the top 2 then, in second place. Now, this was a very, very difficult decision. between second and first place for me. The main reason being because these are two tunes that I absolutely adore. They are two tunes that for me are very special. They are tunes that I feel have instantaneously captured the minds and the ears of global audiences, and I think if this had been probably a different time in the year, this would have been different. But in second place, we do have the official remix for People, featuring Ira Star and Omar Lay, who continues to feature on this list quite heavily. But yeah, this one, of course, by l.a.x, who has absolutely exploded over the last year. I don't think the actual rise from kind of not necessarily having a major fan base previously, the way she has literally exploded and catapulted off the back of People is crazy. She's got a new EP out now, which sounds fantastic, some wicked collaborations on there, and that was the starting point she needed, and I think it's a tune that is stunning. I think what Ira Star and Omar Lay both bring to the table on this remix, again, a perfect example of how to amplify and turn a tune that is already special into something even more memorable. I think both of them absolutely killed it. And yeah, a special tune, and I actually play this version over the original version in dances now as well, so that's always a good sign of a remix, if you play the remix over the original. But coming in at number 1, and for me, I don't think this will be much of a surprise considering how much we have supported it on the channel, how much I've been playing it personally, and just in general, how much energy the tune definitely brings to everyone on a global scale. One of the new queens of this genre, and for me, someone who has an incredible future ahead of them, is of course Tyler. We never reacted to the actual music video for this one, and I'm not quite sure why, thinking back. I don't know if it's because I felt the tune was already a little bit older or anything along those lines, but when I saw the performance on The Tonight Show of this tune, it immediately had to sit at the top of my list. It's one of my favourite things I've seen this year. I think she is a superstar. I think the success of the tune is really speaking for itself. Not the best remix, if I'm honest with you. It's one of these bigger tunes that has that international appeal where the remix didn't really pay off, but I think the way she's countered that really well is, of course, with the new EP, which is doing fantastically well. Truth or Dare, for me, is a sensational tune, and I think we are now entering the era of Tyler, and I think that is a great way to round off this top 10 list. So, in number 10, Oxlade, Intoxicated featuring Dave. Number 9, Omar Lay, Holy Ghost. In number 8, Rema with D&D. In number 7, One Day Cole, Streets featuring T-Pain. In number 6, Davido, Unavailable featuring Musa Keys. In number 5, Victony, Angelus. In number 4, J Hus, Militarian featuring Naira Marley. In number 3, Victony, the Soweto remix featuring Rema, Tempo, and Don Toliver. In at number 2, l.a.x, People featuring Ira Star and Omar Lay, the official remix for that one. And in number 1, Tyler with Water. Again, I really need to stress, these are not the tracks that I am saying are the best 10 tracks of the year. These are the tracks that I have enjoyed reacting to the most, and the tracks that I have, off the back of reacting to them, enjoyed throughout the year the most. So these are personal picks for me. I would love to see your personal top 10s in the description down below, but please don't get into the comment section and going, you know nothing, how could you not include this? Again, these are my personal top 10. I'd love to see your top 10, so do get involved in the comment section down below. That's it from me, though. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have, do make sure that you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, of course, turning notifications on as well, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all that good stuff. And we shall see you all next time. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and peace.
Sounding so good right now, but they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Cub Cam TV. Stay locked.
Welcome to Cubs Clubhouse, live on Brighton's premier platform for new music. Platform B.